real. They have been doing this. And the phrase that was constantly being used yesterday is the following phrase called the Loverboy allegation. I don't know if you're familiar with the Loverboy allegation. Pull up Loverboy allegation. Type in Loverboy allegation, which Loverboy human. Okay, right there. That's the first one. Yeah. Okay. So zoom in so we can read it in. So Loverboys or Romeo pimps are human traffickers who usually operate by trying to make young girls or boys fall in love with them. Sometimes they manipulate young people in other ways. Once they have victims under their influence, they exploit them. For instance, in sex industry. Loverboy method changing due to internet and social media. Traditionally, Loverboy seduces young, vulnerable girls and boys over a lengthy period of time in order to exploit them sexually. Later on, this practice is being used less and less. Nowadays, Loverboys resort more quickly and frequently to threatening their victims using blackmail and violence. The internet and social media are playing an increasing role in this phenomenon. For instance, social media provides Loverboys with much greater scope for establishing contact with victims and gathering information about vulnerable boys and girls. This makes it easier for them to force their young victims into the sex industry. So that is the methodology they're saying they used.
Yeah, well, if I may, listen, I go out in South Beach. I have friends who are good-looking dudes, lover boys, like pimp type dudes. What they're describing are sociopaths and criminals.
Yeah.
Okay, since when is being a good-looking, suave, methodical dude a bad thing? I think that's actually a good thing. So they're kind of copying and pasting and a nice name over actually a very criminal, intentive type of description. So I don't know, this Loverboy thing.
Have you guys seen? Have you go on anything that Dan Blazarian's doing? It's go on his Instagram. It's Dan Blazarian, Pat, with like 50 of the hottest, and he's just in the back chilling. He just Loverboy. I mean, bro, like obviously, and mind you, these girls are getting the notoriety. They're with them. They're on Instagram. All these girls have a massive following everywhere. Everybody's getting paid. He's the, like Adam said, Loverboy. He's the playboy, and it's an image. But like I said, Pat, it's all. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but it's all cahoots. Everybody, if the U.S. Embassy's involved and they go, bro, go in there, get the cameras, record it. And mind you, when this hit, Pat, it hit all my notifications. Bing, 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 bing. It's an effort by everybody all together to try to knock this guy down because he messed with them.
Let me tell you something about these lover boys, okay, whatever this is. There's exceptions and there are rules, okay? Let's talk about the rule because obviously we can go to exceptions. If you're Dan Bilzerian, if you're Andrew Tate, for example, if you're Leonardo DiCaprio, if you're Matthew McConaughey, you're George Clooney, you don't need to resort to this type of fucking nonsense. Yeah. You have girls throwing themselves at you. Yeah. You don't need to induce. You don't need to drug. You don't need to like manipulate. You get what you want. Now, the exceptions, you're fucking scumbag like Bill Cosby or Harvey Weinstein. Those are the exceptions. But if you're an exceptional dude or you're a high dude, man of status, you don't need to resort to these types of measures. It's just something you don't need to do as a dude. Yeah. The worst dudes out there are the guys that can't get laid, that get no attention from girls, got nothing going on for them. Those are the sociopaths that you need to look out for. Yeah, 100%. Those are the rapists. Those are the criminals. I'm not buying this bullshit.
I mean, and Pat, and the beauty, like you said, is he's lucky that it is Romania. And dude, he has money, bro. He's not gonna go to jail for. I don't think he's going to go to jail at all. Yeah, none of them. But that's the problem because I know, Pat, here, the RICO thing with that, like Giuliani and them did, is that now think about this. If he has somebody in his crew that was being shady, does he get in trouble?
So what they're one of the things, you guys said a lot of different things here, so I want to make sure we address this. Loverboy, Hugh Hefner was a Loverboy guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, number one.
He's the ultimate Loverboy guy.
And you don't think he had accusations?
What, of course.
He had women still to this day accusing him of like holding them hostage.
He did, but the only difference is he didn't call out climate change activists. He didn't call out the left. He didn't call out any of this stuff. So there's a rule of thumb. If you go after the establishment, be ready. If you go after the establishment, be ready, especially the louder you are. By the way, there are only a few people loud enough to go after the establishment. One of the guys today that's super loud is number one is Musk. And Tate's in the top 10 of the loudest against the establishment. We know what happened when Trump went after the establishment. We're seeing what's going on with Musk going after the establishment. We're seeing what he went after the establishment. Those are a couple things you got to be careful with. Here's a part about what you just said. One of the claims is what they're trying to do, okay, is you know how a lot of times like, well, how come he doesn't come to U.S.? I don't want to come to U.S. I don't want to come to U.S. I don't want to come to U.S. One of the claims that one of the lawyers made is they're trying to use this to bring him to U.S. courts to get him to be seen guilty. This is an outcome of trying to bring him here.
Extradition.
To bring him here and have the U.S. courts hold him accountable. Okay, because who is he calling out? If you were to take out of the 196 countries or so that we have, give or take, what country does he call out the most?
U.S.
Is there even a
Western
close,
society, Western
nothing.
culture, globalist
Western
elite,
society is the first
100%.
country he calls out non-stop. He's constantly calling out. Okay. And what's he calling out about the Western society?
Like making men into making us
System is
soft,
rigged.
and he's basically saying that when you want to come and let's say take over a country, you got to take the men, get the men out, make them feminine, and da 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 da. And he's just calling out all the woke shit.
Who the woke folks don't want to hear that. The left folks don't want to hear that.
Of course not.
The majority of women also don't want to hear that.
No. I'm telling you, yesterday, the amount of DMs that I got, I've never gotten DMs like this. You piece of shit, you this,
really?
you that,
By the
you
way, I'm
might as well die.
getting
and
the
you,
same nonsense.
I can't believe you said this, and I can't believe you said that. To me, that's not typical protocol where people message me on stuff like that. But to defend him, he's that much of a trigger to the left because Greta. Don't forget that post, that tweet by her got a couple 100 million views on Twitter, and this is under Musk. That thing got a couple 100 million views under Twitter. What does that tell you? She's got a following.
Of course.
She's got influence. People actually want to sit there and believe that she's right. And by the way, thank God she's 19 years old because some people would come back and said, you're going after a minor.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's 19 years old, so it's not like we all know her as 12 years old or 15 years old. She's no longer 15 years old. She's 19 years old today. So, yeah, they're trying to bring him to the States that's what a lot of people said. They're trying to bring him out here, but we'll see.
Here's where I think Tate message gets lost in translation. So when we sat with him, I said, what's the number one reason you thought you were canceled? He goes, I already know. Because I asked it, I'm like, is it masculinity? Is it toxic masculinity? Is it chauvinism? Is it calling out the system? Is it calling out the matrix? Is it male self-improvement? He's like, I already know. The reason I got canceled is because I call out the establishment. I call out the matrix. They don't want to hear what I have to say. But if you talk about Tate's messaging, I believe there's three major themes that he talks about. So number one is he calls out the matrix and the system and everything and the global elite that comes with that. Cool, fair. We just addressed that. Number two is what he's labeled as a misogynist or a chauvinist and toxic masculinity. And that's kind of how he's labeled. Like if you look at any article out there, any headline, it's male chauvinist, Andrew Tate, toxic masculinity, Andrew Tate. And that's kind of what he's framed as. But if you actually peel back the onion and you actually listen to what Tate's saying and not taking it little sound bites, all he's talking about at the end of the day is male self-improvement. And that's essentially everything that we stand for here at Valuetainment. That's everything that I talk about here is no matter what you're doing in life as a man, there's always room for self-improvement. Personal responsibility, being positive, whether that's being stronger, faster, cooler, wealthier, doper, sexier, everything is about status. Okay? So when it comes to self-improvement, here, I'm going to go on a little rant for a second. The number one thing that a man can have is status. There's three types of status that a man can reach. There's number one, wealth. Okay, and everything that comes with wealth. Money, success, ambition, your network, everything that you collect, resources, that's number one, part of status. Number two is attractiveness as a man, status. So meaning you're good looking, you're in shape, you're suave, you dress well, like Jordan Peterson talks about dressing in suits and looking like a man. So that is attractiveness. Women obviously like dudes with six packs and muscle, that's part of that. And then the third one is having game. Now, there's different types of game out there that can improve your status. So whether it's you're funny, you're a comedian, you're clever, you're witty, you're romantic, you're kind, whatever it is, that's your game. Now, here's the deal. If you're in the top 10% of any of those three categories, you will get women and women will come to you. What do I mean? If you've got a ton of money, I don't care if you look like
we've seen
Jeff
it.
Bezos.
Yeah.
Women are going to be attracted to you. Number two, if you're an attractive guy, you're in shape, you're a good looking dude, like that's done. Like no matter how much money you have, you're going to get women. if you've got game, whether you're a funny comedian or whether you're a suave dude, a romantic,
sing,
whatever it is, whatever your skill set is, if you're in the top 10% of any of those 3 categories, you'll get women. Now, to put this all together, like Tate would do, he would say, keep working on all 3. Make your money, work your ass out, improve your game, learn how to talk to women. You know, famously in the red pill community, what he's a part of, it's money, muscles, game, and hold frame. So again, back to my initial point. Yes, he talks about the system, and he talks about people label him as a misogynist and a toxic masculinity. But at the end of the day, I think the reason that he's resonated with so many dudes is he's like, nobody's coming to save you, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody's walking in this door. You need to do it yourself. Keep improving. Keep working. Outwork, out-strategize, out-improve, outlast. And that's his messaging. But nobody wants to talk about that.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.